What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the podcast. First off, I just want to thank everybody for subscribing and listening. Uh, yeah, this is a really cool project of mine, and I just like to thank you. So, this week, we're going to get into late season squirrel hunting, and it's been pretty difficult so far. You think with no leaves on the trees, you'd be able to find them, but they're not your park squirrels. No, no, these things, they're sneaky. So, sit back and listen to the episode. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe. And for those of you just listening, check out my YouTube channel, Chop Todd on YouTube. And thanks, man. All right, now, when you think about squirrel hunting, you think it's going to be easy. You're thinking to yourself, hell, they just stand there when I'm mowing the yard. When you get out there in the woods, it is not like that. At least that's what I'm finding out. I've been searching all over for squirrels. And if you've been following me on YouTube, you can tell I have not been successful. So, so yeah, let's talk about late season squirrel hunting. So I was seeing squirrels in all these places when I was trying to find a good spot to set up the deer hunt. So I've been going back to those same locations and waiting on these squirrels to come out. And I'm just not seeing them. You think with no leaves on the trees, it'd be easy? No, it is not easy. I've been searching everywhere for squirrels. I see them on the drive in. I see them on the drive out. I'm out there in the woods. I don't see nothing. So I've been using that Onyx app and checking out those acorn areas. You know, you turn that filter on and then it puts little red blocks all over the map. And then that's where I've been going. I've been going to this red block. I've been going to that red block. And they're just not out there, man. I think it's because it's so cold and there's no acorns left on the trees. They've been gone months ago. So that's probably, why I'm not seeing them in these acorn areas. Been watching a lot of videos on squirrel hunting. A lot of guys use dogs, and I've been trying to talk to my wife into getting a squirrel dog. Actually, I'd like to have a squirrel dog, rabbit dog combo. I watched some videos on beagles, you know, awesome rabbit dogs, but all the videos that I've watched haven't really showed any squirrel hunting with a beagle. I've seen videos where they chase them in parks and or whatever, but I ain't never seen a video where they're actually squirrel hunting with a beagle. People like to use the mountain feist, and then there was another breed. I can't remember the name of it, but they're like yappy dog. And we used to have a Chihuahua, and I just don't know if I can handle this high strung yappy dog. I don't know if you've ever had a Chihuahua, but they are barking machines. And these mountain feists, they seem to be about the same. A beagle's much better temperament. They're calmer dog. I've had beagles. They're a much better temperament dog than a mountain feist, I believe. I'm not positive, but that's what I believe. So for the last, I think deer season ended in the middle of January, and we're at the end of February. So for the last month, I've been going out there on the weekends. Now, mind you, I work night shifts, so it's hard for me to go during the week, but I'm going to start. I think I'm going to actually start this week. It's the end of winter for us. Well, it's getting close to the end of winter. I live in Tennessee, so it starts warming up about the middle of March. So the weather's been kind of crappy. It doesn't really snow a lot here, but it rains all winter long. And I try going out and hunting when it was just barely drizzling rain. And I mean barely drizzling. You could barely feel it on your skin. Didn't see a single squirrel. I watched a video, and there was a couple of guys hunting during the rain. And they actually said, hey, it's the best time because there's nobody out there in the rain. The woods are open. And then they showed their tailgate full of squirrels. But that has not been the case for me. I haven't seen any squirrels in the drizzling rain. I went out another time, and it was really, really cold. It was a nice sunny day, but it was only 17 degrees out. And I'm not sure, if squirrels are real active and when it's freezing cold like that, because it's not freezing cold like that during our deer season. Our deer season, it starts in October, which, you know, 70, 65, 70 degrees every day. So it's not that freezing cold like it's been, towards the end of this winter. But I, I don't know if maybe I'm just impatient. I'm putting in a couple hours a day, or if maybe I'm just not looking in the right areas. I'm not real good with tree identification, so I don't know if that's an oak or if that's a hickory or a maple. I mean, I know the difference between pine trees and stuff like that, but I'm not real good with the tree identification to find the perfect trees where the squirrels are all nested up at. You see a tree, it's got some holes in it, and you think, well, there's a squirrel den tree. I'll just post up and wait for them squirrels to come out. And that's what I've been doing, but it hasn't been very fruitful at all. What I would like to do is maybe try a call. Now I've seen some handheld calls. We're not allowed to use uh, digital calls for like squirrel or deer or anything like that. Turkeys, you can't use a digital call. You can do digital calls when you're predator hunting, but I've never predator hunted, so I don't I don't even own a digital call. But I've been watching videos on these little hand calls, and it's just like a little rubber boot at the end of a plastic, and you just keep smacking the rubber boot with your hand, and it makes like squirrel barking noises. And I've been watching videos on those, and some of those guys are actually, you can hear the squirrels start chirping back at them. So I thought, well, maybe that's what I'll try. Little hand call. So I ordered one, and I'll be getting it, and maybe I'll carry it out there and post some videos of me trying to use that damn thing so y'all can laugh at that. I'm trying to expand on my video recording. I know that a lot of people like to watch, shorts and stuff like that, but I'm new to everything. I'm just trying to document my experiences as I'm trying to become a hunter, because I'm sure I can't be the only 47-year-old man that's trying to get into hunting. But I mean, hell, maybe I am. I may be by myself, maybe, maybe me and 8-year-olds out there trying to learn how to hunt. The difference being, I don't have the mentor, that 8-year-old might have. That, I don't have the dad or the uncle carrying me out there to the woods, teaching me the tricks of the trade. I've got YouTube. I've got YouTube and podcast, and I'm trying to blend the two together as a tutorial on how to how to hunt. Now, as the end of squirrel season's coming up, it's February 25th, and our squirrel season ends March 15th. So I'm going to try to take these last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and I'm going to really try to dial it up. I'm going to go after work. I get home about 10 a.m. So on the clear days, I'm going to try to just keep my stuff in my vehicle And then on my way home, I actually passed by the WMA where I've been hunting. So I'm going to try to stop every day on my way home. They say more days in the woods, the more, chance of actually seeing something, which makes complete and total sense. I've just got to get out of my laziness. When you work a factory job for 25 years, at the end of that day, all you can think about is that damn couch. And I'm trying to change the way I think. I don't know if I guess you could call it a midlife crisis. You could, I mean, there's all kinds of terms for what the hell it's called. All I know is in the middle, in the middle of my life, I guess you would call it, I'm trying to change who I've become as a man. I don't want to be that couch potato no more. I I tell you how drastic I've gotten. I've been watching all these videos on the carnivore diet, and I've been on that damn thing for 3 weeks. Now, the first 2 weeks, I, I, I felt like hammered mud. I mean, I felt bad. Energy levels was way low. I mean, way low. Coffee could not balance the energy levels that I was feeling. Now I'm 3 weeks in now, and I feel pretty damn good. My energy's finally back up. Uh, I'm not getting those lows like it used to. You would eat, and then 30 minutes later, I'd have a big spike in energy, and I'd be like, "All right, yeah, that's what I'm talking about." And then I'd just be plowing along, and then when it dropped, oh man, it was like coming off of caffeine pills. I mean, my energy would bottom. They call it the keto flu. I think I had keto vid. I mean, it was bad. But they say, the higher carb diet that you were on, the longer it takes for your body to balance and to start burning fat instead of those carbs. And let me tell you, I was on pizza and French fry carb level. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking burritos, everything that you ain't supposed to eat. That's my favorite food. Hot dogs, bologna, hot pockets. If it goes in the microwave, it goes in my mouth. You know what I mean? So now I'm doing this damn carnivore diet, and you think to yourself, man, I love meat. There ain't nothing like steak and bacon. Yeah, that is true. There's nothing like it. But when that's the only thing you're eating, man, I tell you, I miss a soup. I mean, I miss a soup. Chicken noodle soup. Oh, I miss it so bad. Uh, Mashed potatoes. Oh man, I kill for some mashed potatoes right now. But I'm trying to do all this, and it's actually all stems back to the damn hunting. So when I first started hunting, I weighed about 270. Yeah, I was that big dude out there. You know what I mean? But now I'm down to 230. Some of that is because of my job change. So I went from factory work, forklift driver, offload. I worked in receiving. So I would offload trucks and then stack up the inventory, do inventory counts, and not physical. I mean, not physical at all. I barely even got off the lift. I would get off the lift, I would count something, I get back on the lift. That's it. But now I work at a freight company offloading trucks, and it's a lot more physical. The Sometimes the freight's dumped all over the place. You got to restack it onto the pallet so it could be shipped. Now it's not small, because if it was a light box, they would have sent it through UPS. They wouldn't need a freight company. So every time you have to stack something, 9 times out of 10, it's 30 pounds or more per box. So, sometimes you're stacking a couple 100 pounds. So I did drop some weight changing from that uh, factory job into this other job. But most of the weight loss has been come from getting out in the woods. So when I first started out last year, I started during turkey season, and I was parking at one end of the WMA because I didn't know about all the other access points, and then hiking clear across this 700-acre field. And then I would start at the edge of those woods, at the edge of that field, the wood line hit, and I would start there and then start going off into the woods, looking for turkey roosts. So a lot of that weight loss came from that, just hiking every day. Well, not every day, weekends, because, I'm a weekend warrior. So I would hike and hike and hike and then hike all the way back to the truck. So that's where a lot of the weight loss over the last year and a half has come from, is me hiking all over the woods and then changing jobs. So I went from about 270, and then I weighed myself yesterday and I'm at 233. So that's a pretty good drop. I didn't weigh myself when I started the carnivore diet. I should have weighed myself then, just to get a baseline. But for me, it's not all about weight loss. There's also health reasons. My sugar levels is way too high. I'm trying to cut that back. So that's also another thing I did. I cut sugar out last year, and that really, probably contributed to the weight loss, because I was fatty cakes, honey buns, you name it, man. I'm telling you, I am a food addict. Nicotine, food, that's my vices. I'm not really a big drinker anymore, but cupcakes and a good pinch of grizzly, and I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm losing this weight. To be honest, the main reason that I'm losing this weight is just so I can get through the woods easier. You ever hiked 2 miles at 270? I'm telling you, it's brutal. It is brutal. I'd be winded. I'd be so damn winded. I get about halfway across that field, I'd have to stop, take a breather. Oh, oh, oh. Then I'd hike some more. Then I'd post up under a damn tree, and that's where I would stay because I was so exhausted just from the hike in. So I was like, well, them turkeys better come to me because I ain't got the energy to go to them. You know what I'm saying? So doing all the weight loss, and I'm getting out there and I'm hiking around. I'm using this squirrel season to really look at areas that I didn't get to look at during deer season. It's hard. It's hard to get out there and look around during deer season because so many people deer hunt where I go. And I'm not the kind of guy that squirrel season is in and deer season. So I'm going to shoot these guns while y'all are, trying to get this bow hunt on. I'm not that kind of guy. I know I see videos and public land is public land and one hunting's no better than the other hunting. But I don't want to be rude, man. I'm new out there, I'm not trying to mess up somebody else's hunt just so I can, get my hunt in. So I'm just not that kind of guy. So I spent a lot of time at the end of deer season looking at different areas on my Onyx that I hadn't been yet. And that's my plan. I've been knocking off those areas during this uh, late season squirrel hunt, trying to get a better visual image of the land that I'm actually hunting on. I would like to get to a point to where I just know it. I ain't even got to use my Onyx anymore. I can just go out there. Oh yeah, that's where I got these squirrels last year, or I kicked up a couple of rabbits over here, or I seen some deer running through here when I was squirrel hunting. And there's some ponds on the land. Hell, I may even do some some fishing out there on them ponds during this summer, or maybe even some frog gigging. I've never went frog gigging. Hell, I might try to frog gig. I like frog legs at the buffets. So who knows, maybe I get into some frog gigging too. But I'd like to really get a visual of the whole entire property. It's almost 3,000 acres. So I'm just using each individual uh, hunting season to kind of lay out the map, of all these different areas to where maybe, hell, I may come across something. I know last year when I was bow hunting, I come up across several areas where turkeys were roosting. There was feathers on the ground. I got in there one morning. It was about 4:30 in the morning, and I could hear them all up in the trees. They was going crazy, go, talking back and forth to each other. So I made a mark on my onyx. I'm like, all right, so there's some turkeys that roost in this area. Come April, I'll head back to this area first and check it for them turkeys. And I seen a whole bunch of squirrels when I was bow hunting, but I've yet to find them when I'm squirrel hunting. I This has happened to me twice now. When I'm deer hunting, I see all kinds of squirrels, but that's on a regular basis. But twice now that I've been squirrel hunting, I've kicked up 2 deer. Both times they were on the access road, the same access road that I've been walking in. But yet, when I'm deer hunting and I come down that access road, not a deer in sight. So maybe they're smarter than me. They say that they actually know when the seasons start and when the seasons end. Like they just, well, my brother got shot this time last year, so I'm going to hide over here. That kind of thing. So I'm trying to figure them out. Maybe outsmart a deer. I hope so. But anyway, back to squirrel hunting. So what I did notice is that when it's windy, even when I was deer hunting, I didn't see any squirrels. So I'm thinking maybe squirrels just don't like the wind. Even in my backyard, that's that's actually the barometer that I've been using. I know it's not scientific, but I've been watching the squirrels in my damn yard, and when it's sunny out, they out. When it's windy out, they're not out. When it's rainy out, they're not out. So I'm hoping that maybe I can figure out some patterns, maybe get these squirrels out there in the wilderness, not out of my backyard. I don't think my neighbors will like it. I start popping squirrels in the backyard. I live in a subdivision. If I had my own piece of land, that'd be a little different. But in this subdivision, them old people, I know they be feeding the squirrels. They're like sitting out on their deck watching the squirrels play. So I can't be popping squirrels running around the backyard. I don't think my wife would care much for it either. Another thing that I noticed is early hours is when I've been seeing the most squirrels when I was out deer hunting. So I know I get off of work, I don't get home till 10 a.m. So I'm not sure if I stop at those woods on my way home, if those squirrels are going to be denned up or nested up, you know, that time of day. But I'm going to try to figure that out too. Then maybe get an overall picture, squirrel habits. It's hard when you watch these videos of these professionals out there, and it's everywhere they turn, there's a squirrel. They shoot the squirrel. At the end of the video, they got their daily limit laid out on a tailgate. And you're thinking, man, I understand there's some editing to these videos, but it doesn't look like it took that long, You know what I'm saying? It looks like it's still the same day. How'd you find all those squirrels? I don't know about y'all, but it just ain't working like that for me. But we're gonna keep grinding. You know, I'm gonna keep putting the time in. You know what I mean? So, excuse me a second. I gotta get a drink. I don't know about y'all, man, but I gotta have that coffee when I first wake up. You know what I'm saying? Whew, it's been a long week. All right. So back to squirrel hunting. I've been watching a video. This guy, I can't remember his name, but he's been using a feist, and he uses like a 22. And that feist to track that squirrel. I mean, they track them from the ground to the tree. They tree up the squirrel. They start barking at the base of the squirrel, or base of the tree, and it's just like a beagle on a damn rabbit. So I've been trying to weigh out the options. Been talking to my wife about getting me a damn squirrel dog. They we got 3 dogs already, and if you follow me on YouTube, you've seen the clips of our Saint Bernard puppy Chloe, and then our pug Milo. We got another dog too, Gizzy, the little Yorkie. He's old. He don't like the camera. He's old and grouchy. So having 3 dogs, and I'm not the kind of guy that'll get a hunting dog and put them in a cage outside. I know a lot of people say that inside dogs won't hunt, but I, in my opinion, if you're going to bring a dog into the family, then that dog's a member of the family. We just we don't believe in just chaining up a dog or caging up a dog outside. And some people have to, you know, they can't keep them in the house, and I understand that, but we just ain't those people. So already having 3 dogs in the house, and then getting a hyper strung out squirrel dog, I I think it may be a little bit too much for the wife and me. So we're going to wait on the squirrel dog. But I've been watching those videos, getting that squirrel dog. I think that'd be a lot of fun, man. Just turning that dog loose, a dog chasing them squirrels all over the place, get them all treed up for you. Man, that looks fun. Squirrel dogs, bagels. You ever watch those videos of them guys use falcons? That looks cool as shit too. They get I think it's red hawks. And they train those, chase rabbits, chase squirrels. The falconry. You ever watch those videos? Man. Anyway, I get distracted sometimes, you know, sitting here talking to y'all about squirrel hunting. The next thing you know, I'm thinking about guys holding a damn falcon. So, all right. Now I done lost my spot. Man, 47, you know, that's what the memory starts to go, dude. Be rambling about some shit, and then next thing you know, you're like, where was I again? It's like, you ever you ever been holding talking to somebody on your cell phone and looking all over the damn house for your cell phone? That's how you know you're getting old, man. Oh, I'll tell you another way. So you can always tell a person's age by the distance their arm extends from their face when they're texting. Like I used to be, my elbows were bent when I was texting. These days, I got my elbow locked texting. That's how you can tell. Vision goes, memory goes, hearing goes. There ain't no, there ain't nothing my wife hates more than her talking to me, and then at the end of the sentence I say, "What?" So when let me know in the comments how old y'all were when you started hunting. Like, let me know how many of y'all were my age and trying to get into hunting. And maybe, this podcast, you right here, you can join in and learn with me. You know, maybe I stumble across some stuff that'll help y'all out. Maybe you didn't know about the Onyx hunting app. I ran into a guy yesterday. He was pulled over on the side of the access road. I pull in, I pull up to him. He asked, which side of the road was the legal public hunting land, because there's woods on both sides. Well, only one side of the road was legal hunting land. And the only reason I even knew that was because of that app. It tells you the property lines. So I got out, I showed him the app. He downloaded it right there in his truck. And he had never even heard of it. Or maybe when I start that squirrel call comes in and I start using it, and then squirrels start talking back, and then I could tell y'all, hey, squirrel call works. Or I could say, hey, that squirrel call ain't worth a shit. And then before y'all waste your money on it like I did, you say, oh, yeah, that's right. Chop said that squirrel call wasn't worth a shit. Then you don't get it. I know for me, you watch these videos and these guys are so good. They've got years under their belt. So you watch a video, this dude goes out, he sets up, and the next thing you know, there's 3, 4 deer walking right by a stand. Or as soon as he gets out of the truck, he takes 15 steps into the woods and there's 2 squirrels running all over the place. And when I watch them, I'm like, damn, dude, like, how come I'm not seeing that kind of action? Is it the location? Is it the way that I'm approaching the hunt? I know when I was deer hunting, I'm trying to get the wind in my face, and I'm trying to get in the right location, close to a game trail, not on the game trail. And that stuff's hard to learn, and I just don't have the hours and hours and hours that these professional hunters have. So I'm learning, and maybe you want to learn with me, or maybe you just want to listen and laugh and talk about how dumb I am. I don't mind that either. Any feedback's better than no feedback. But so yeah, let's get back to squirrel hunting. So a couple of years ago, when I was squirrel hunting, I was hunting on a piece of land that had all kinds of squirrels. Now this piece of land is close to that piece of land, and it has about from what I could tell, the same kind of tree composition. There's not a whole lot of pine trees. Uh, I just I don't understand why I'm not seeing them. And maybe it's the time of year is what, I'm really getting at. Maybe the late season squirrel hunting, maybe it's the hardest. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing them, because it's so cold out. There's not a lot of food out. Maybe they're denned up, and I'm just going out at the wrong times. But it's trial and error. I'm just going to keep trying, keep plugging at it, see what we can come up with. My boy, he went squirrel hunting with me a few years back. It was pretty damn funny. He was like a damn bulldozer going through the woods. I think he was 17, maybe 16. But when he walks, he doesn't pick his feet up at all. I mean, even in the house, he's dragging it on the carpet. We was walking through there, and he was behind me. All I could hear was I looked back. He actually had a pile of leaves at his feet where he was just dragging his feet along. I kept telling him, pick your feet up, pick your feet up. And then he's looking off in La La Land, and I shoot a squirrel, and it scared the crap out of him. His eyes were so big, they looked like damn saucers on his face. And he said, I wasn't expecting it to be that loud. Like gunfire is just this, little pop or something. It was pretty fun. I wish he'd get back into hunting, but maybe one day, maybe one after he sees me finally get something, maybe he'll see that it's not as hard as he thinks it is. So anyway, I guess the moral of this episode is late season squirrel hunting is hard, but I'm going to keep plugging it. I'm going to keep getting out there. We're going to double down this week. Next week, I think it's 15 days total, I think is what I got left. So we're going to double down and just see what happens. And I'll keep you all updated.